Well, look who we fucking have here. Is that a Latino who's curious about moving abroad and immigrating to Spain? Yeah, I think so. Okay, guys, so this is my second YouTube video. The last one did pretty fucking good, okay? Just a quick little update. 1.6K for first ever YouTube video. 200 followers. I'm like, okay, let's go. This time I'm more prepared. I have my notes on my iPad, a coffee here to remain energized, and I'm recording here at another park. Let's get into this. Also, if I sound nasally and congested, it's because I'm fucking sick, so just whatever. So I keep getting asked some questions over and over and over again, and I figured let's just answer them here right now. So I'm going to be talking about the pathway to citizenship, what my journey looked like, how to get a Mexican passport, and ultimately what kind of visas you can get and if they qualify for the citizenship, while also going on a little cafecito with you. If you're new here, my name is Cielo. I'm a queer Mexican American from San Diego, California, who moved abroad here 3 years ago, and now it's my home. You can follow my journey here on YouTube or TikTok, which, first of all, why wouldn't you? Support queer Latino businesses, babes. Come on, come on. I just want to remind everyone that this is not legal advice, so please speak to a lawyer. Do not take everything I say as if it's like it's written law. You should definitely be speaking to like a lawyer or someone else, because at the end of the day, again, I'm not a lawyer, okay? I'm just here sharing my experience. So this is stuff that I heard from different lawyers in the past. Things might have changed since then, okay? So just make sure to do your due diligence. So if you're looking for a lawyer, I highly recommend Cielo group here in Barcelona. They have a detailed ass website and Instagram page that's constantly being updated with new information and lots of really great videos too, honestly. And before I go, this isn't sponsored, but it fucking should be. The way that I'm calling these bitches out every single fucking video I have. At the end of the day, I'm just a 13-year-old little girl, okay? So again, do your due diligence and do your own research. So I get asked this question a lot, so I'm just going to quickly summarize it for you guys. So Spain has this law that allows citizens from its former colonies, including Mexico, to apply for citizenship after 2 years of legal residency. That means that me, as a Mexican American, can qualify for citizenship if I can stay here legally for 2 years. And again, notice that I said Mexican passport. I also have an American passport, but if I were to come in here and apply as an American, it would take me 10 fucking years to apply for citizenship. Obviously, those reparations are coming through because with a Mexican passport, it only takes 2 years. So as far as I'm concerned, and again, you should really speak to a lawyer, you qualify if you have a passport. I'm going to say that one more time. A passport from an eligible country. I'll put a list of some of the countries here. And you have a visa that provides you legal residency for up to 2 years. At least 2 years. Spoiler alert, unfortunately, student and teaching visas don't count. I know, babes. I fucking know. I was just as sad to find that out as you are right now. But there are other options available. But again, this is a really brief overview. The reality is that moving abroad and immigrating to a new country is a really fucking hard process. Some girl commented on one of my videos and said that I've been talking about this for over a year on my TikTok and that I'm clickbaiting. And I'm like, babes, it's not like I'm applying for a fucking newsletter, okay? I'm applying to immigrate to a new country in another continent. Like, it's gonna take some fucking time. So I've been at this for 3 years, y'all, and every situation is unique and complex. And so I really, really encourage you to speak to a lawyer. But then that also just begs the question, like, why would you want to get Spanish citizenship? And no, contrary to all the comments on my fucking TikToks, I'm not trying to be white. I'm not trying to be living with a colonizer. I'm not trying to spit on my ancestors' graves. Babes, I'm here for the EU passport, the universal health care, the walkable city, the no-car lifestyle, and just be able to travel to other European countries super easily. A lot of things that America just does not offer. So another question I get asked a lot is, like, how did I manage to get here? How am I where I'm at now? Like, what was my path? So for context, I've been officially granted my legal residency here in Spain, and after 2 years, I will be applying for citizenship. And unfortunately, I will not be sharing the unique details about my situation because that's between me and my lawyer in Spain. So please don't ask about what I'm under, whatever, but I'm giving you all the options that was given to me from lawyers before, okay? So how did I do it? So I first came to Spain to teach English as an English teacher in Madrid. And if I'm being honest, babes, like after 2 weeks, I was like, I want to live here for the rest of my life. So at this point, this is where the situation gets pretty lucky. For me, 1 month into being here in Spain, I got offered a full-time job as a TikTok strategist for this Danish tech company, which is super fucking rare, girl. Yeah, like I didn't even apply for this job. It kind of landed in my lap because they saw my TikTok. So that definitely shifted things for me. This job was fully remote, it paid well, and it also meant I didn't have to be an English teacher anymore, which I made a video about it on TikTok. I fucking hated it. I did not like being an English teacher. Because I said yes to this job, my student visa and my teaching job was basically canceled. So I had to come in and out of Spain every 3 months, like under a tourist visa, which is annoying and expensive as hell. But again, like I loved it out here. And so even though it was annoying and expensive, this is what I wanted for myself. So that's precisely why I put up with it. But I just knew that I had to find a solution fast, which is where the lawyers came in. So after speaking with 3 different lawyers, they told me about the expedited pathway for citizenship for Mexican citizens. And it got me thinking, well, I can get citizenship in 10 years if I apply with my American passport, but I could get citizenship in 2 years if I apply with a Mexican passport. and I'm Mexican American, and my parents are from Mexico. Okay. Solution: I gotta get my Mexican passport. Now, getting my Mexican passport was actually a diabolical experience. That alone took me almost 8 fucking months, y'all. Like, it should not have taken that long. I know getting a appointment at the embassy can be quite difficult. It didn't take me that long. It took me maybe like a few weeks, but it took me 8 fucking months over something as small as like my last name's not matching up exactly. So annoying, but it's just a small taste of what it's like dealing with Mexican and Spanish bureaucracy. I had to fly between Spain, the US, and Mexico so many times over those 8 months. Again, expensive, long as hell. I was over it. But finally, I got my Mexican passport, came back to Spain in June 2023, and legally applied for residency, which I just got approved for. So now I just gotta pick up my tia, which I'm still waiting on. I made a TikTok video about that too. So now I'm just waiting. Okay, so the next step is how to get a Mexican passport. I did this maybe like 2 years ago, so I can't go super in depth with this. But again, I highly recommend you speak to a lawyer, but I'll just give you some general steps. Just number one, you have to have a Mexican passport. It's an absolute necessity. You're gonna use your Mexican passport for basically everything out here. And I mean everything. They use it for like getting your SIM card, they use it for opening a bank account, they use it for all the steps you need to apply for residency. They're going to ask for your Mexican passport, so you need to have it ready. And again, if you use your American passport, it's gonna take you 10 years. You gotta enter here as a Mexican and you gotta apply as a Mexican. You can't come in here with your American passport. So you qualify for a Mexican passport if you are a descendant of someone who is Mexican. So either one or both of your parents are Mexican. I don't know how it works if your grandparents are Mexican, but I just know if you're first gen Mexican American, you definitely do qualify. So in my personal experience, I got lucky. Randomly one day when I was 19, my parents were like, we're gonna get you Mexican citizenship. And I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't really give a fuck. But luckily, because they did that, it made the process easier for me. So they basically went to the Mexican embassy and I think formally like claimed me as a Mexican citizen. They also gave me a Mexican birth certificate, which is something you need for the Mexican passport. I made an appointment at the Mexican embassy in Los Angeles. I went there, provided my documents that was provided on their website. You got to go on this website here. And I basically applied for a Mexican passport and they didn't give it to me because I had an issue with my name, which was fucking annoying, which is why I started to having to fly between Mexico and the US and stuff like that. But in general, if everything matches up well, you should get your passport pretty easily. So basically, once you have your passport, you're ready to go to the next step, which is to figure out how you're going to stay here legally for the next 2 years. Okay, so like let's break down some of the different visa types because there's about 4 that I recommend. There's like a 5th one, which is like if you invest $500,000 in Spain, like through property, you'll get one. It's called the Golden Visa. I think they actually just discontinued it, but in general, I'm pretty sure the people who are watching this do not have $500,000 in their bank account. I sure don't. But yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys a list of the 4 different visas and give you the pros and cons because they all have their own form of value, but you should also just make an informed decision about what's best for you and your situation. But again, speak to a lawyer. That's my favorite thing to say to y'all. Speak to a fucking lawyer. I promise you, speaking to a lawyer will make things so much better for you. They're going to try to tailor everything. You can tell them everything. And I mean everything. Tell them everything. They're going to find a unique solution for you. They're literally made for that. So the first visa is the student/teaching visa. So this lets you be in Spain as an English teacher, or if you're studying at a university, whatever. I came here through RVF International, which is an agency. I made a whole video about it earlier where I talked about my experience with that. Overall though, the program is free. It's a free program to apply for. I went through an agency. I didn't want to go through the hassle. I paid about 1,000 euros. Again, I go more in depth about it in the other video, but yeah. So the pros. This is about like an 8-month visa. And once the visa's done, it automatically transforms into the tourist visa, which allows you to be in Spain for another 3 months, which is about almost a year abroad. This one, you also get to experience Spain and really see if you like it. Because for all we know, what if you come to Spain and you fucking hate it, babes? So it's really good to have at least like a year to fully experience it, see what it's like. You can also travel abroad you can also travel all throughout the Schengen area. No, I said Schengen, not Europe. Schengen. Look up what the Schengen area is. It's a little bit different. Like it doesn't count the UK, some of the like the Scandinavian countries and stuff. But yeah. Also, it's renewable. I have a friend who's been doing the student teaching visa thing for almost 4 years now. So that's the way that she's been able to be here long term. And that could work for some people as well who can't find a solution with the other visas that I present later in the video. And again, the program's free to apply if you don't go through an agency. Okay, so the cons. Unfortunately, this does not count towards legal residency, which really sucks. It's probably the most accessible and what most people can do. Also, doesn't my bicep look so fucking good? I've been working out, y'all. Also, you cannot work more than 20 hours a week, which basically means you're quite limited in terms of how much money you get. I believe the student teaching visa, like they give you only 700 to 1,000 euros, depending on what city you're in. and it's not going to cover much of your basis. Again, I covered it in my other video, so check that video out if you want more tips on how to move abroad here. You also get a pretty low salary, like I just mentioned, and teaching, in my opinion, sucks. I hate working with students. I hate classroom management. That's just something you have to accept if you want to do the student teaching visa. This is like a second visa option. It's just a tourist visa. The US and a lot of other countries have this agreement with Europe where basically the moment you show up and present your passport, you're given the tourist visa, which is 3 months that you're allowed to just travel through the entire Schengen area. Again, Schengen, not Europe. Schengen, without having to worry about like visa restrictions and whatnot. You can be here 90 days out of every 180 days. 180 days is like 6 months, right? So January to June. Let's say you're here from January to March, 3 months. That means for the next 3 months after April, May, June, you cannot be here. If you stay past your 3 months within the 180 days or whatever, it'll cause problems for you. They might bar you from entering the Schengen area again. The tourist visa is another option that a lot of people can do to like experience Spain. One thing I also didn't mention is that with the student teaching visa is that it does take about a year for it to be formally like approved and everything. So if you don't want to wait that long, you can do the tourist visa first. I guess again, experience Spain a little bit. Maybe do like a little course while you're here or whatever. Just experience if this is something that you want to do. The next visa is done through a pareja de hecho, which this is where I'm gonna say this one more time. I am not a lawyer. Whatever I tell you, that's on you, babes. I'm not telling you to do this, okay? I'm just letting you know. So the pareja de hecho is a civil union that's similar to like a domestic partnership in the US. So it's not marriage, but it is a form of like legally saying to the country that you and this person have a relationship, a formal relationship. Pareja de hecho is pretty common out here. I know a lot of immigrants here who done pareja de hecho and whatever, and a lot of people do it. Lawyers recommend it as an option. Only thing is you just gotta find someone who would be willing to do this with you. So some requirements are that your partner has to be Spanish or they are an EU citizen with a work contract in Spain, because they have to prove that they can at least take care of you. And then you both have to be registered living together in the same address under this thing called empadronamiento, which is a whole nother thing. There are different regional requirements. So like some areas in Spain will ask for like year or 2 years of proof showing that you guys have been together. They might do like home visits or whatever, show pictures, receipts. Some places don't even ask anything. Like, so it definitely just depends by region by region. So again, just do your research on where you want to live, what the requirements are, etc. But again, speak to a lawyer. So the pros of this is that it grants you a pretty long residency. I think between like 2 to 4 years, something like that. And this one does count towards citizenship. If it's between 2 to 4 years, it counts within the 2 years you need to be here legally to apply for citizenship. With the visa you get from pareja de hecho, you are also allowed to legally work in Spain, like a full-time job, which is also really nice. The process is really common here. Like, it's like clockwork here in Spain. That's why my lawyers kept telling me, like, can't you fall in love with someone? And I'm like, girl, it's hard out here, okay? Yeah, the reason they say that is because they've done it so often. It's such a simple copy and paste process. That's why they always would recommend it to me. Again, it's an option that's available to you. So the cons. This is probably one of the biggest cons. You are legally tied to this person for 2 to 3 years, because applying can just take a really long time. And then the 2 years starts with like being together. In those 2 to 3 years, you guys might break up. In those 2 to 3 years, you guys might get in fights. In 2 to 3 years, you might find out this person is really irresponsible and they are legally tied to your immigration process. So I highly, 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 highly encourage you to take this one with a grain of salt and really think this through. I've known a lot of friends out here who have done it who are having such problems with their immigration process because the person that they did the pareja de hecho with, they broke up, they caught feelings for somebody else and they want to take it away and give it to them. You know, like, it's just, it can be a really awful experience. So just really be careful. Some people sell this arrangement and I highly discourage you from doing this. Some people are asking for like 2, 3, even 10K to do the pareja de hecho with you. But again, I discourage you from doing this. Number one, because that's an illegal practice. If you get caught, babes, ooh, I don't even know what the ramifications are, but that's going to be awful for you. I know someone who did one of these arrangements and the person that they got paired with is awful. They're so deeply irresponsible. Like, now that they got their money, they want to like pull out and everything like that. And the person who arranged it, they don't give a fuck because they got their cut, they left, they don't care. They want to get a EU citizen who says yes. They want someone who's willing to pay. They get their own cut from it. They put you guys together, and after that, they disappear. So again, I really discourage that you don't do this. And then another thing is, like, finding someone can be hard. Asking someone, it's a pretty personal question to ask. I've asked some partners of mine in the past, and they've said no, and it was really uncomfortable. You know, you think someone would be willing to help you out because you do the same for them, and then they find out they wouldn't, and so it just gets kind of awkward and strange. I have a friend who's been here for almost like 6-7 years, and they have not found someone who is willing to do this with them. So again, it's just really difficult, but again, it's an option that a lot of people have done before, so I'm letting y'all know about it. Okay, so the next one is the digital nomad visa. This is a brand new one. This is the one that I strongly encourage you to do if you qualify for many different reasons. I think the pros kind of solve the issues with the pareja de hecho, which is why I'm presenting it to you guys now. So this started just this past year, and it's a great option for anyone who works fully remote with a company outside of Spain. This visa is particularly aimed for like remote workers or like entrepreneurs. This one, again, double check like on Belcel's group's page, but I believe this one gives you 1 year of legal residency, and then you can renew it for another 2 years. So for that together, that's 3 years. That meets the 2 year requirement you need to apply for citizenship later down the line. This one does have an income requirement. You need to work for a company that's outside of Spain. You got to show their work contract, got to work with them for at least 3 months, got to have a letter written by them saying that they allow you to work in Spain. Then you have to make, I believe, at least 2,500 euros a month, which, remember, like a euro is more valuable than a dollar. So if you make 2,500 USD, that's going to translate to maybe like 2,200. So you're not going to meet the threshold. But I think the more you make, the better. So the pros of this one is that you're independent. You and you alone are tied to your path to immigration and citizenship, which, again, like with the pareja de hecho, when you're tied to someone, you don't have to worry about that. With this one, you have a lot more autonomy. You can just feel way more confident knowing that like you're in control. Best pro is that it counts towards legal citizenship. The cons are you got to pay taxes. That's a whole other thing. Don't ask me about that, but I think I gotta pay taxes for like the US and Spain. It's a whole lot. Ask someone else. I'm not a mathematician. If your job fires you, that's a whole other issue. Yeah, that's like one thing you gotta watch out for. Make sure it's like a place that you're gonna be that a long time. You gotta make sure you keep up that workload. Again, with this one, you are not allowed to work in Spain. So you might have to be working like remote hours. So I know someone who works in the US, they work, I think, from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. at night. So again, kind of caca, but an option. This only works for fully remote jobs. So if you're hybrid, unfortunately, this won't work for you. Or if you work a job that's 9 to 5 in office, again, this won't be able to work for you either. Again, you got to just maintain your income throughout those entire years of you waiting, because when you apply for citizenship, they're going to ask you to prove that again. So again, just making sure, like, if your income isn't very stable, like let's say you're an entrepreneur and it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, that's going to be a kind of a bit of a red flag. So you're going to have to maintain a stable income. So another question I get asked is, what's the work situation out there? Can I get sponsored by a Spanish company and everything like that? I'm going to be so for real with y'all. That is so rare. It's so rare. So basically, for a Spanish company to want to hire you, they have to prove to the Spanish government that you and you alone can be the only person who can perform this job, and no one from Spain can do it. Spain has millions of people, and for them to say that only you can do it, it's very fucking rare. Like the Spanish government will almost always be like, no, you can train someone, whatever. So that's why it's really rare. Also, it costs a lot of money for the company to do all that legal paperwork for you and stuff like that. So again, it's more economically efficient for the company to hire someone within Spain. So it's just really rare. But if like you have an MBA or like have like a really highly skilled job, like maybe like software developer or whatever, then the company would like to be able to do that. But in general though, it's really rare. I wouldn't encourage you to think of this as like a viable option unless it's a really viable option for you. But again, speak to a lawyer. They'll let you know what your chances are. Okay, so that was basically everything. In conclusion, is this process really long and fucking difficult? Well, yes. But if this is what you want, you're going to put in the effort. That's exactly why I did it. That's why all my friends have done it, because we fucking love living out here. I'm not joking, y'all. The whole immigration process, I'm not even done yet. This has been the most stressful thing I've ever done in my entire fucking life. And would I do it again? Yes, because I love living in Spain and I don't want to live anywhere else. But if you're someone who's really interested in moving abroad, want to see if it's right for you, I really encourage you to watch my last YouTube video, because I talked a lot about the process it took for me to get here and just like the mindsets and things you really should consider when moving abroad. I got a lot of good comments on that video, so I really encourage you to watch it. Again, I'm going to say this over and over again. Speak to a lawyer if you're really serious. This is the group that I recommend. Check out their page. Do your research on there. But with that being said, good luck and thanks for staying here. Bye. Also, do you like this hat? I got this on Vinted. Isn't it so cute? Fucking love her. Okay, bye.